this is going to be your general reading for the month of November 2018. And this month I decided not to shuffle and pick the cards on camera because I feel as though it's a huge waste of time. So I did that right before I started recording. I hope you don't mind. I most definitely had the Virgo collective in mind for this when I was shuffling and picking the cards. So, and I've forgotten to mention this so far to the other signs, but this is for Virgo rising, sun, or moon sign. It doesn't have to be just your moon sign. And this is going to be an 11-card Celtic cross spread. In your case, this month it's 12 cards. And then I will show all of your 12 to you, and then I'll get started with your reading. For your regular cards, for your 11-card spread, I am using the spiral deck. And this month for clarifiers, I am using this tiny little cute deck, which is called the Wildwood Tarot, or Wildwood Tarot. So, here we go. Ready? Your central experience for the month of November is strength. Your countering situation to that is the Ace of Cups. What is hindering you is the Four of Pentacles. What is helping you is the Two of Pentacles. At the root or core of your being, you have the Star. Very nice. You're one of the few signs so far that has gotten this. In the recent past, you have the Tower. Your best possible outcome is the King of Swords. In the future, you have the Knight of Cups. This is a really nice reading, you guys. You right now are the Moon. In your surroundings, you have the Two of Swords. Your hope is the Nine of Wands. This could be a fear too. We'll get into it. And your general outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. Very nice. So let's get going. Sorry these are coming out so late this month. I have a lot of crazy things going on right now. It's easy to put it that way. I could go into it, but okay. So your general vibration for this month is strength. Your clarifiers to go with this are the Ten of Cups, which in this deck is called happiness, and the Eight of Wands, which is called the Hearthfire. I don't know if you can see that. And so what I'm getting here is that for the month of November, this is a card that is ruled by Leo, which rules the hearth fire of the home or the fireplace or the heater. And this card is Wands, which is fire, and its name is the hearth fire. So when I look at these two, I'm getting that you want this to be a warm month, not necessarily temperature-wise, although that could be the case for some of you if you live in places where it's warmer. But this is about warming the cockles of the heart, or celebrations, get-togethers. This makes me think of Thanksgiving, you guys. So if some of you celebrate Thanksgiving, this could most definitely be what this is about, is people gathering together to celebrate together, to create warm, happy feelings of community, family, a sense of belonging, a sense of being warm and comforted by celebrations. You want to be happy. You want happiness. You want to feel as though you're part of something or you belong someplace. This looks very nice for the month of November. And so your focus could be on the family or community or just celebrations in general. What is hindering you or is your challenge to this situation is possible a love that you started or a new relationship that turned out not to work out the way that you thought. And so this may be making you feel a little bit lonely for the holidays or disappointed that things didn't work out the way that you thought. Maybe some of you had a crush on someone and you thought that the feelings were mutual, but they turned out not to be. Or you thought that there was a possibility of a new love, but it didn't end up to be what you wanted. Something, or you've been wanting a new feeling in your heart, but something has shaken that up or changed things, where you're feeling possibly unhappy or like you can't start this new beginning. Something. This, by the way, is the Tower in this deck. And so, what is hindering you is limiting yourself. You may be clenching onto what you have too much. You may be trying to hold on to something a little too tightly because you're afraid of losing it. You may have become completely locked up in routines or a certain way of looking at things or experiencing things. Money may be tight, or you may be afraid of money being tight, or you may just feel trapped like you have no choices right now. That's what's hindering you, so try to stay away from that mentality as much as you possibly can. What is helping you? I'm reading this in this reading as what is helping you is realizing that you do have choices, that you have a choice. You are not doomed to remain in a self-imposed prison or what is perceived as an external prison. You are not trapped. You have choices. So don't forget, at your root, you are feeling quite hopeful, or you want to focus more on things like faith, hope, optimism, believing that in the end things will all work out. Not that they're not working out for you. You do have the Ten of Cups as your central experience for this month. That may be one of the reasons on why you're feeling so optimistic and full of faith within you, as you're seeing things happen this month that make you feel extremely happy. But this is what you want to cultivate further, and this is what your soul wants. The clarifier with that is the Eight of Stones, which in this deck are pentacles. This is the work card, and in this deck it's called skill. And so it may be that you have a hope for a new skill or a new job or a new career, or that you can have something better than what you have now concerning those things. Or even that all of your hard work and effort will pay off and you will receive good money or good energy in return for what you have been doing. And you need to believe in the positive with this. Believe in your dreams concerning your work, career, or skill base, or even your reputation for that matter, or anything to do with what you've been working hard on. And so what you're coming away from it looks like It looks like you may have been wallowing in boredom or self-pity to a certain degree. Sorry to sound so cold about that. I don't quite mean it that way. You may have been stuck in a rut. Here's another 4, and keep in mind that the 4 of Pentacles is what has been hindering you. So here's another 4. It's the 4 of Cups. In this deck, it is called, I don't know if I can angle that right. The camera's doing weird things now. Well, in this deck, it's called Boredom. If you look at her face, she looks completely discontented and bored with her situation. Like she wants something more, but she doesn't know how to go get it. Or has remained emotionally stuck in a certain kind of feeling that makes her feel like things aren't really worth it, or why bother doing something because it probably wouldn't work out anyway. Something like that. But it looks like this came crashing down. It might have been that if you stayed in this vibration of feeling bored or not really doing much externally towards going towards your dreams, instead you've just been settling for this feeling of discontent. It looks like the universe took whatever that was away. So whatever you were clinging to or are clinging to, it looks like it gets yanked away by the universe in order to snap you out of that emotional stuck place. You would know more than me on how this applies. Or it could be that what you were hoping for did crumble, but I'm not really getting that here. So your best possible outcome is the King of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles, which in this deck is called the Bear. Bears are extremely protective of their young or of their creative processes. Bears also need to hibernate or to hide away in order to gather up all of the creative energy that they have for the spring, in which case then they come out of retreat or they come out of the cave with their creations. And the King of Swords is very logical, objective, very much to do with making major decisions. It could, and it also has to do with communication. What I'm getting here is that you may have your best possible outcome is to maintain boundaries or space, especially verbally, as in letting other people know verbally where you're at and that you need a certain amount of space in order to cultivate certain things that will better your financial situation or your creative, stable situation in your life. The Queen of Pentacles oftentimes is the Queen of Money or the Queen of Prosperity or the Queen of Work and talents. So it could be you're nursing something that you're thinking of doing or switching to as far as skills or work, or even just creating a new sense of stability for yourself that's a different reality than before. You may need to make some major decisions about this and then communicate to other people that that is what you're doing. You may need to maintain space for yourself so that you can nurture these things and bring them out when you feel like you are ready. So that's your best possible outcome. I'm also getting something in here about a focus on your health. You may need to rest more than usual or rest your mind, or if you can just clearly articulate to other people what your boundaries are and where you're at, then you'll have all of that unwasted time to just nurture what you need to nurture in your life. I don't know if this is making any sense. I hope it is. So in the future, if you have had some kinds of setbacks or losses concerning a possible new love, it does look like you have some kind of a new love coming, or a new passion, or a new quest, or something that you want to do that makes you happy. Your clarifier with the Knight of Cups is the Fool which in this deck is called the Wanderer. And so you're thinking of jumping into love. That's what I'm seeing here. Or jumping into an adventure. Something exciting. Something that would make you feel like there's romance and magic in your life. You may decide to take a leap or a risk and ask someone out, or invite someone to do something with you. Or someone might appear in your life that offers you something or wants to get to know you better, in which case this person feels very Aquarian and Piscean. Maybe not necessarily with their sun sign or anything like that, but just an energy where they're romantic, but they're also free thinkers and willing to take risks, willing to go after what they want. If this is you, then this is you choosing in the future to go explore, wander, and see what's out there in regards to dreams, love, inspiration, romance, beauty. You want more magic in your life, and you're willing to go after it, or to accept it if it comes to you. Right now, you are the moon, and your clarifier to go with that is the hooded one, which in this deck is the Hermit. And so what I'm seeing is that you have some subconscious emotions, fears, insecurities, hunches, intuitions that are all rising to the surface more than usual at this time, and maybe making you feel a little bit more vulnerable than usual. And there may be something in here about having to caretake other people or do too much emotionally for other people. You may want to keep an eye on your health. Make sure you're resting enough and that you're processing these subconscious things that are coming up, which I'm reading as the Hermit here. That is how you're going to get through this, is by acknowledging what these things are that are rising up, analyzing them or taking a close look at them, and learning how to integrate these things or make logical sense out of them. So that's where you're at now. You may have some deep undercurrent things going on internally, and you may need to do a little bit more resting, more than usual, in order to get through this period with your health still good, in order to have your health be good. In your surroundings, you're feeling undecided, torn, or stuck. Keep in mind that what is helping you is to realize that you do have choices, and that it's up to you on what you pick for yourself. But these things are entirely possible. But something about your surroundings is cultivating the feeling of not being sure. Maybe it's something about your surroundings. Maybe you're feeling torn about your surroundings. Maybe there are certain things about your surroundings that are trying to hold on to you. And that's reminding me of what is hindering you. Or it could be that you're trying to hang on to certain things in your surroundings that may not be the best for you to hang on to. And so you're feeling undecided on what to do or what to choose. But your clarifier to go with this is the Ace of Wands, which in this is about choosing to take action on a completely new journey in your life. A new way in your life, a new way of doing things, new actions, new things that you want to do. Possibly even traveling to a new location, or deciding to do something that's a lot more, what's the word I'm thinking of? That's a lot more out there or active than what you were doing before, which would take a certain amount of bravery. But you know, the Ace of Wands is generally considered the go for it card. And so don't let your monkey mind get in the way or make you feel as though you don't have choices when you do. And you do have it in you to get started with this new thing. This could even be new love or a new passion for something. You're feeling stuck about this. Maybe you're afraid to trust yourself. Maybe because you have subconscious emotions and fears cropping up, it's hard for you to figure out what is actually going on, if this is you or them, or if what you're getting is accurate. But really the most important thing for you to do is just to take action. Try not to overthink things too much or get stuck in your own mind. Do something instead. And so I'm getting that this is kind of hopes and fears. Your hope is that you will finally be able to finish off everything that you have been working on so far, or doing so far, or ending an old path of action. Whatever you have been doing in the past, you're ready to do something different now, or start something different, and so you need to close these things up first before you can get started with something new. And this something new, maybe, this is the Ace of Pentacles, by the way, maybe a new job, a new career, a new location, a new home, a new relationship. You have two aces in here, which do lead me to believe that for whatever reasons in the past, things have fallen apart in order for you to snap out of your emotional funk or physical funk you were in order to be ready to begin new things in your life. And so this is interesting. Your best possible, or your general outcome. Here, let me deal with my dog. I'll be right back. Okay. Where were we? We were at your general outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. So it looks like the wheel is turning and things are changing, whether you choose to do anything about it or not. But unlike your recent past, which is very dramatic, possibly shocking, possibly painful endings or changes, this is positive change. This is that things are growing, moving, changing in a good way. You may not see what good things are coming. The fates may not want you to know. You just have to have faith and trust that things are headed in the right direction and things are changing for the better. And your clarifier with this, and also you are changing. You are evolving and changing in a positive way. Your clarifier to go with this is the King of Swords, which in this is the Kingfisher. And I find it extremely fascinating that the Kingfisher is the King of Swords in this card, because even though it's a bird and an air animal and a sword animal, it is very much like the King of Cups. It is called the Kingfisher, after all. They nest near banks of water. They're like air water birds. And I was going to tell you this story myself, but in order not to butcher the story of the Kingfisher, I'm actually going to read it to you because this is an extremely powerful general outcome. This is going to happen no matter what you do. The reason why you have two outcomes is because everyone always has a choice to go with the potentials of a situation for the best possible outcome. This takes your initiative to invite your best possible outcome in. It requires that the person do something or go with something in order to have this come about, which is why it's called the best possible outcome. This is potentials. Your general outcome is what's going to happen no matter what, regardless of what you do, which this is a really powerful combination. And anytime the Wheel of Fortune comes up, the fates are involved in some way. They have something in store for you, or they're bringing you something that you possibly would have never expected. And so I'm going to read to you. First of all, before I read that to you, I'm going to show you something, which is that you have the King of Swords as your best possible outcome. And you have the King of Swords as your general outcome. So regardless, you have the King of Swords in here, which is about possibly even a change of perspective or an evolution and positive changing of your perceptions and how you handle things verbally, or how you think about things, or what motivations make you decide things. Objectivity, being able to communicate clearly, making decisions. And so your mind might be changing. Okay. Here we go. This is called the Animal Speak book, and it's written by Ted Andrews. This is one of my favorite animal medicine books ever. And I'm going to read you Kingfisher. The keynotes for it are new warmth, sunshine, prosperity, and love. In Greek mythology, there's a legend of a woman by the name of halcyon, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and her husband Sakes. Shortly after their wedding, Sakes had to make a voyage. A storm arose during the voyage, and Sakes was drowned. Every day that he was gone, Halcyon walked the shores of the beaches, longing for her husband. After several months, the body of her husband washed ashore. Halcyon was so filled with grief that she threw herself into the ocean. This is reminding me of what is hindering you this month, which is lost love, or a devastating loss of love, or a new love that didn't work out. The gods were moved by her love and grief, and she and her husband were turned into kingfishers. They rose out of the ocean and flew off happily into the blue skies. It was declared that the seas would be calm and the sun would shine for 7 days before and 7 days after the shortest day of the year. And the cycle of power for this is winter solstice. And because you have such a beautiful main message for November, which is Thanksgiving time, or getting ready for the holidays, getting ready for the midwinter times, which we're coming up to, you're wanting happiness and people to gather together to create warmth. This time came to be known as the Halcyon days. Today, all sunlit days upon the water are considered Halcyon days. The kingfisher is a long-time symbol of peace and prosperity. It has many legends and superstitions about it. Most originate in ancient Greece from the above myth. The body of the kingfisher, if dried, could ward off thunderbolts and storms. If hung in a closet, it would keep moths away, keeping things as fresh as the love found within the tail. The kingfisher is a beautiful bird. Let me skip ahead. The coloring of the kingfisher is unique among most birds. The female of the species has more color than the male. Some people attribute this to the legend of Halcyon and how her greater love touched the gods and restored the life of her husband. It can reflect that as we bring out a self-sacrificing love and manifest it, it will bring new life to us and those closest to us. And if a kingfisher has come to you, prepare yourself to dive into something new. Think of your 2 aces. Have you been avoiding the new? Have you been afraid to take the plunge? Are you needing new warmth from the hearth fires and the courage of Leo? Don't worry, if a kingfisher is around, you won't drown. In fact, you will find that as a result, you will have new sunshine and prosperity unfolding within your life. Here. Okay. And so after hearing about kingfisher, I'm reading this as the fates may be bringing you a great love. If you had a love before that was destroyed or didn't work out, they may be bringing you a new love that's much greater of a love than that love. If you have truly loved someone and you have lost them, this may be saying that not all is lost and this person may end up coming back to you. And if it's not this specific person that you lost before, something even more amazing is being brought to you. And happiness and good times ahead, and lots of sunshine and warmth in your life. That's pretty amazing, you guys. So many blessings to you. I love you very much, and I shall see you soon with your bonus reading if you would like to watch that. Okay, take care.